Hey everybody. In today's video, I want to talk about a subject that comes up quite frequently with businesses, which is that AI is not a replacement for IT, it is an augment for IT. And a lot of businesses struggle with that, but I think a lot of businesses are starting to understand that and come to that conclusion. And then it then draws, once you reach that conclusion, then the question that gets asked is where exactly do you place AI within the organization? And I think a lot of businesses are struggling with that question now. I get faced with that question more and more often throughout my daily interactions. And to me, I rewind this back all the way back to the 1930s. I think like a lot of people, they'll rewind AI back to the 1950s with Alan Turing, things like that. To me, it goes back further than that, right? It goes back to physics. And so it goes back to like the 1912, like the Cambridge Convention and everything along those like Heisenberg and Einstein and like all of the people that created physics, right? They started getting together. And then in the 1930s, Einstein creates relativity, and then like right along the same time, like at that same time, Schrodinger creates his arguments with regards towards the cat, right? So it's Einstein's dice and Schrodinger's cat. And that becomes kind of like this split track. And then within computers and computer physics and everything like that, we follow the dice, the Einstein track, right? And then so that leads to everything that we know about computers now, like Moore's law, Intel, like the CPUs becoming big, everything like that. And then AI, on the other hand, is built off of the cat rather than the dice, right? AI is built more off of like quantum physics as opposed to relativistic physics. And then so we don't explore the cat track as much, right? For like 100 years, basically, we explore the dice track, and that's everything that we know about modern computing is based off of that dice track, right? Like the relativistic physics, and then deterministic physics, very straightforward, right? And you put in an input and cause and effect. You put in a as your input, you'll get B as your output, and no matter what, right? And there's nothing that will ever change that equation whatsoever, because that's how classical physics works, how relativistic physics works, and these are established rules, and we know these things, right? And I think that's why we've gone on that track for so long. We've optimized that track because it's, when you look at these tracks, when you look at the dice or the cat, I mean, the dice is a lot more straightforward, just up front, right, than the cat. Like the cat is much more abstract, and these two concepts are one is very concrete, one is very abstract, and that's from the start of this equation. And then so I completely understand why we choose and why we went down the track of one. But to me, we're at the point now with computing and why AI is starting to get big at this particular point. I think it's two things. One, the cat, we're starting to make use of the cat. The cat is starting to do useful things. Some people might argue that. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that it does actually do useful things. But then the secondary thing is that we've min-maxed the dice, right? We know exactly what the full capabilities are, and we've reached the end of Moore's law, right? Moore's law is gone; it's ended. And then so there's a lot of things that go into this. Like we can't go further down the dice track. So then that leads us down the cat track. And then so coming back to the initial conversation and start of this video, which is, so then where exactly do you place AI within this then, right? Like, so it's what we've determined and what we've established is that at this point, AI is completely different than classical physics and therefore classical computing, right? And then so we need to frame that and keep that mindset in mind. And then the biggest thing and the biggest reason why we need to keep that mindset in mind is that very often programmers, developers, people that are very heavy into like classical IT are going to be the exact opposite of people that should be driving your AI innovation within an organization. Just very straight up, like not 100% of the time, but that's a very good classical rule, right? Einstein and Schrodinger, they're kind of diametrically opposed, right? And it's that same type of thing. Your programmer is generally speaking, like your in-depth and deep programmer is going to be diametrically opposed to what AI is going to present, because it's presenting essentially like different way of doing what the programmer does, right? And then so that is diametrically opposed to what the programmer wants, and then so it creates a schism there from jump. So number one to me is that you remove AI from the IT department entirely, and this isn't a unique concept at all, right? We've seen, I think, more and more businesses start taking away, like a sales and marketing enablement, for example, like in all of your sales and marketing tools, and all of like your HR tools. What I've noticed is that you see more and more departmental control over IT resources as opposed to your IT department. IT can still have influence and say, and they're the ones that, of course, do the work and the labor within that, right? But like your sales enablement tools, your CRM lives within your sales and marketing departments. Your Workday lives within generally like your HR department. It's your IT department isn't generally making decisions with regards to your Workday, right? Just general examples like that. And then so I think that it's important for businesses to look at AI with this same type of concept and through that same exact lens, and realizing that while IT can be an influencer within it, it shouldn't be the driver. And then so therefore AI shouldn't live within the IT department. There'll be oftentimes where AI and your AI goals are counter to your IT goals. And then so within that what does that mean for your organization and what should be succeeded within that project? I think that you should let those teams duel it out. And then you, in certain instances, it would be the IT team. In other instances, it would be the AI team, right? But if it's within that same team, that conflict within the same team, I think that's where you create those issues. Like you want that separation. I think it's very important overall for organizations to have that separation. And I think you're going to realize this more and more as time goes on. We'll see complete departmentalization. I think that AI should 100% still remain within the operations side of the organization, but the big thing, I think, like the best way that I can crystallize this for people is that oftentimes when I speak with executives when it comes to AI, especially with fine tuning and training AI, their expectation is that it's a lot of coding, right? That let's talk about it, and then they'll give me a bunch of code, or I'm going to come back with a bunch of code, and that's exactly how we're going to do things. And then I start diving into data, right? And then I will ask questions deeper into the data, and like, can you give me more examples? Can you give me more specific examples, etc.? And it takes a while to understand that the coding aspect is like 1%, and the data aspect is 99%, right? And then so data and mathematics are not the same and are not equivalent to coding and programming. They're two different realms, two different experiences, and two different skill sets. Everything about them is different overall, right? And then so you need to frame them differently overall and frame them differently from jump overall. And then so that means a complete separation, not just throwing them into the IT department, because the IT department isn't your math department, right? Isn't your science, isn't your innovation department, isn't your data department, which is all of these elements are what combine and make your AI department overall. And then again, I think you're going to see this separation more and more with organizations. It's happened with CRM, with sales and marketing enablement, as IT has become more and more part of businesses, you see a more fractured approach of IT, right? More dispersed approach of IT management. And I think you're going to see the same thing with AI management, a more dispersed approach of AI management, with it having a centralized department that is separated from the IT department, but with that same type of structure. And then so kind of like parallel to your IT department in a lot of ways. And then so to me, that's, I think, 5 years out, if you're going to start seeing a lot more of that. So if you're starting to experiment with those things now, you're in very good shape. And if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.